What's up, everyone? This is Alexis Gallardo. Thanks for tuning in to this week's podcast. Today we have a very special guest in the building. Well, we're actually outside of the building. We have Dayna Doxey on the show with us today. She's a Long Island photographer specializing in events, portraits, and weddings. She has a diverse portfolio and a unique editing style that I cannot replicate for the life of me. I have tried painfully and it just doesn't work.
Well, we can talk about that.
Yeah, 100%. And she's here to talk about just her growth, how she got into the business, and all the things. So, ladies and gentlemen, Dayna.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Hello. Thank you.
I wish I had an audience to be like, yeah.
Cue button that makes applaud noises.
Right.
You need like a soundboard.
I do. Oh, yeah. See, Gemini, Cancer, we shoot
work
off each other. We work with each other. Yeah.
Right.
Do you ever like go into a photo shoot and like you're like, oh fuck, I don't even know what I'm supposed to do. Like, what's the next pose do I do? Like,
probably more often than I care to admit, to be honest.
Oh
Yeah.
Dude.
So I have my hot shoe. I put like the phone holder on it.
Yeah.
And so like it's how I do the behind the scenes of a lot of my photos, which is why in some of my videos you can kind of see like the cusp of my lens.
Oh.
But so I put the phone holder on the hot shoe, and I usually have like all of my screenshotted ideas in my phone as like my professional looking checklist. So instead of like pulling my phone out of my pocket all the time, it's on my camera, and I'm just like, oh yeah, just recording behind the scenes, and in reality I'm like checking off my, but I tell them, I'm open, I'm like, I feel like it just looks more professional to refer to my pose plan. Like I'll go into Pinterest and check like screenshot everything that I want to pose them in, and that is like my checklist on my phone,
right, and
then I delete it once that pose is complete. It's deleted.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Oh my god. Yeah,
it's my savior.
Did that ever come naturally to you, where like having this personality where you can like pose people and direct them, or was it something that was like a slow build for you?
I think it's a combination of both. I think being a photographer, you have to have like this like creative background, and I 100% get that from my mom. Like she is one of the most creative people I've ever met in my entire life. But you like to shout out to my mom and my dad. Love you too, but mom's the creative one. But my dad also has like photography interest background as well, so it's like a nice combination. But you have to have that creativity to start, but then it's definitely like a build up of learning and trying to see, because every couple or whatever the situation, family, although I do love couples more than anything, every couple, their love and personality is so different. So it's like I really don't know unless I get enough talking time with them how the poses are going to go. So it's like I could have this like plan in my head, and I'm like, no. They either love too much that these poses aren't enough and we have to take it to the next level, or maybe their love is a little like, some people just don't like that romantic side. They love each other, they're great as a couple, they belong together, but they're not that like lovey-dovey romantic. So we have to go with a different route. Like even as far as being picked up. Being picked up is a really tricky topic, because not every girl is comfortable being picked up, because like any girl I'm sure has gone through it, they're afraid to be too heavy. And it's like, I'm like, anytime there's something that I feel that somebody might not love, I'm like, so how do we feel about being picked up? How do we feel about being dipped? Like, and it's usually like, they're like, yeah, whatever. Or they're like, not feeling it. And that's so like all of these poses, that's why the Pinterest little checklist that I create is really helpful, because if they don't like what I've got like planned in my head, now I have a backup plan. So that's really, it's a combination of both, having it in your head and like learning as you go.
A lot of different techniques. You're like a chameleon. It's like, I feel like photographers naturally have to be chameleons. Like they have to be able to adapt to like the couples that they're working with. You know?
Everybody's so different.
So. And you also won't know how the shoot's gonna go, like, you know, once you start your session. So it's like you have to be quick on your feet. You have to like know some poses in the back of your head.
It is mania, but it's like everybody's job has their stress. I like my stress. It's a fun stress. Like, all right, what are we gonna do next? And but like I give the like client the option too. So like at the end when we have 10 minutes left, I'm like, all right, we have like 10 minutes left before the session is over. Are there any poses that like you've seen, if they haven't like Pinterest sent it to me already or whatever?
Right.
I was like, are there any poses that you've seen that you want to replicate before we're done?
Right.
Like I leave that last 10 minutes for them to be like, oh, well, I saw this one with Hannah G and Dylan, and like I want to do that. And I'm like, all right, let's do it then, because they see it on these famous people, and I'm like, well, let's recreate a famous person's pose. Like, why not?
Hannah from The Bachelor?
Yeah.
Bachelorette? Oh, yeah.
I was just telling someone, it was like the only season of Bachelor in Paradise or any love show that I ever watched, and now like all of that season they're all still just getting married. So I was talking to somebody about it today.
I'm currently binging on The Golden Bachelor. I know it's kind of like embarrassing to talk about, but like
whatever, we all have our vices, right? I binge watch every Real Housewives possible from start to finish.
Oh my god. So like take me back to like the beginning, the infancy stages of your photography journey. Like
well, it all started when I was born. No, not that recent, but
infancy stage. You see where you went there.
No, but when I was a little kid, I cried a lot, a lot, like an
Relatable.
unreasonable amount. And my dad was big into swap meets and car shows and stuff like that. He's into motorcycles and stuff, so he would go to buy parts. And well, I'm gonna cry about it because I don't want to go. And they would hand me a disposable, and I would literally shut up. And like, I don't know if you've ever been to a car show or a swap meet or whatever, but they used to have these like dolls. They were called like shame dolls.
Yeah.
Like a really weird thing where like the dolls had their hands like this and they'd lean them on the cars. Yeah. It was like they were like getting in timeout, but it was like the thing for people to put on their vintage cars. I don't get the relevance. I don't know, but
that's so interesting.
But they're like little kids my size, and I'm taking pictures of them. I'm taking pictures of the car, and I'd stop crying. So if it got me to stop crying,
right?
Then so like if like obviously that didn't mean like, oh, Dayna's gonna be a photographer for the rest of her life, but like kind of looking back on it, the hindsight of it is that I've always been interested in it.
Right.
And so in high school I took a photography class, and we were given cameras. I got a Rebel T3.
Yeah, I had a T3i.
Oh, so you had the one where the screen came out.
Yes. The fact that she knows that. That's how you know she's a professional, y'all.
So it was the Rebel T3 that the school provided to each student. And in that time, I got hired for 2 jobs in a time frame that I would have already had to give the camera back. So we did Christmas early that year, and my parents went to, it's called Cometa Camera. He shut it down because he retired, but it was in Amityville. And they used to sell like how, I guess, Amazon does it now, where you buy the bundles, where it comes with the camera, the lens, the SD card, 2 lenses maybe, and a backpack and all the things. So we got this bundle, and I got the Canon T5.
Okay, that's an upgrade.
I don't think it was the I. I want to say it wasn't.
The I, the A, the Z.
It was I didn't get the retractable screen.
Yeah,
the touch screen did not happen for me. But that was 2014. I did Sweet 16, and then I was like a junior shooter for another Sweet 16, and that was it. Now, I wasn't making any money though. Like I mean, like I made money from that, but like overall after that, it was like squat.
Was
like,
this after high school? During high school?
During high school, I was in 11th grade.
Oh wow, so you were young when you had your hands on a camera, like for real. Yeah,
I was in 11th grade, and then 12th grade, I started just like, oh, are you free today? Cool, you aren't now. You're coming to my house, and we're taking pictures. Oh, wow. And all of my friends were my models, and I would like find Instagrams that I wanted to imitate, but it was like that. The type of photography, I mean, there's plenty of photographers that still do it. It's like the type of photography where you're just going like on set somewhere. So like I created, in the wintertime, my mom brings all her plants inside into her room.
Yep, my mom does the same thing.
My dad hates it. It's like a jungle in my house.
Yeah, I can totally relate with
but
that.
like so I used her bedroom as a photo shoot session because all of her plants. And then like my backyard, I have a vintage truck. I have like a nice front porch. I have Tanner Park, like not far from my house. Yeah. And there was like this little area of Tanner Park that if you went up into like the hill, you found like this really weird, like volcanic looking area. So bizarre. Not there anymore.
You'll find volcanoes.
Yeah. It was weird, and I'll show you a picture of it, but so remind me, but it was like really weird. But like that was the time where I was doing like on set stuff. Like I wanted to go to a laundromat and do a laundromat photo shoot. Like now unless it's like an engagement session, I'm not taking somebody to a laundromat. Like, it's just not my style anymore, and that's fine.
Right.
But like, it was super vibrant, like
Yeah.
explosive saturation, and I'm not like that anymore.
I see the progression in your Instagram because I was stalking your page, like, you know, because
Okay, I do the same thing.
yeah.
I do that with all my clients.
You can see the clear progression in that, how you start off with like high saturation, very vibrant, to more like light and airy, you know, not so hard on the contrast.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa, how do I
my
do
contrast is major negative.
Yeah.
And my saturation is slightly negative.
See, when I do it, doesn't look as good. When you
Well, for starters, I do start with a preset. I bought a Cassidy Lynn preset, and I take that and I've created my own presets from those.
Yep.
So like, I don't use hers directly as much anymore. She is a grainy style photographer.
Got you.
Which I love, and I want to be a grainy photographer. But then I like turn the grain down. I'm like,
I look so much better.
I don't want the grain anymore.
Right.
But I will create like a virtual copy of the same photo and give it to them in clear and in grain, because sometimes like they just need both. Same thing with like black and white. For the most part, when I choose black and white as a, not like, oh, this picture's blurry, I'm gonna black and white it, you know. When I do it as like, oh, I actually want to see this picture in black and white, not because
black and white it.
I'm gonna black and white it because it came out really bad. And it looks really artsy when it's in black and white.
I totally agree with that.
This picture is actually really bad in color, so don't ask for it.
Yeah. That is so funny. Oh my god.
It's like exposing all the photography secrets.
I'm sure there's so many. Like.
But it's true though. Like, if I find a photo that I'm like, yeah, this is like questionable in color, I'm like, let me see what it's like in black and white. And I'm like, it actually looks pretty artsy, and I'm gonna submit it.
I love that.
Then I'll give them a similar photo that's clear and not embarrassing, and give that one to them in color.
Yeah.
And like, oh, can I have that in color? No.
I love that.
You can't.
I'm so dead. Have you seen like a shift in your business after you like discovered your own preset and you started doing that kind of
Yeah, because like, so there's like a next level of creating a preset that I haven't learned yet, like in the S-curve area.
Yeah, like the curve.
I haven't learned that.
I've tried.
I don't think I plan
I'm like,
on
what
it.
the f- am I doing? Yeah.
But that is where, from what I understand, that is where the consistency of a preset works. Whereas like when I was doing photos, like I would make a preset for myself, and then the next photo shoot it wouldn't look the same. And now I have to make a new a new preset for that photo shoot to even come close to the last one. So with this preset, it kind of gives me like the foundation that I can go with, and then I just go nuts on my own device and whatever.
Right.
But it has helped me stay consistent.
Yeah.
So
what do you prefer shooting the most? Like, because I know on your Instagram it's events, portraits, weddings. Is there a particular thing that you prefer to shoot? Like family, solo, pose, not like...
I really prefer couples. I love families, and I won't turn down families, but like the couples are the like most moldable. Like kids, I love kids. I really do.
I do too.
I grew up babysitting, and I love kids, but they're more of like you have to bribe them to get them to smile, and that's fine. I have no complaints about it, but couples are just more easily moldable, and they return as like engagement, and I'm like, oh, if you haven't had your wedding photographer picked out yet, like, can I send you my packages? And then they have their, they get pregnant, and like you start following them, and then they turn into the families, and that's fine. But I feel like they're just much easier as a couple to start. Yeah. And I enjoy that, and I feel like I've kind of like emulated that in my Instagram, that I prefer couples, because I have, when I first, so to like full circle, from before, I started doing minis for Christmas because I have a vintage truck. My mom does. My mom's like, some people get diamonds, I get pickup trucks. It was her 5th wedding anniversary present. So, but they use it, and we use it for the minis now, and that's when I started making money from photography. And then I got into network marketing, and the photography slowed down. Yeah, so...
What is network marketing? What is that again?
The pyramid schemes that everybody talks about, I say it with quotations because it's not. It's totally legal. Everything I did was legal. I promised a tangible product. A tangible product was delivered.
Right.
Should you decide that it does or doesn't work is how your body reacts to it.
Got you.
That's how life is. So we try products. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
Doesn't make it a scam.
Right.
And it got me to where I was, and it wasn't filling my cup anymore. And I got back into photography because somebody asked me if I still take pictures. Yeah. And she wanted her Christmas cards done. And then my best friend's brother asked me to film his wedding. And I'm like, well, this is a beginner camera.
Oh my God.
This T5 is a beginner camera. I am not filming a wedding on a T5.
I was just gonna say, did you?
No. No.
She's like, I don't recommend it either.
No. I got the R. I got the Canon
Gotcha.
R.
Nice. That's a good camera.
Yeah, and I think I got a 17 to 55 millimeter lens.
Okay.
And it worked. It did the job.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, I guess I should buy a new computer. It's like all the like might as wells that like really drain your bank account.
Yeah.
I was like, well, while I'm here, might as well get a new computer. And I'm not a laptop person, so I bought an iMac.
Yeah. So how long does it take you to edit a whole gig? Like, say you're doing like a wedding, for example.
I would say like give or take a day per every hour or so.
Okay.
Yeah.
A
So like an 8-hour wedding would be like, 8 to 15 days,
Yeah.
8 to 16 days.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah.
And this is like on and off, like you're taking breaks. That's why. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah. So I pretty much work my photography as a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
5 o'clock I stop.
Ah.
Unless I like really am like doing nothing else.
I
And
wish I could do that. I'm just like, but like I just need to keep doing it. Like 1 in the morning.
Yeah. Well, I think I would do that if I didn't have my boyfriend, to be honest, because it's like, all right, I gotta give him some attention.
Yeah.
And it's
God,
like he would get off at
learn
not
from
like 5. And I don't like, and it's not even in a complaining way, and like that he requires that, because if I said like, oh no, I really need to work until 10 o'clock tonight, like he gets it. But having him creates like a take a break space for myself too, and it helps me like want to go back later. Because sometimes I'll just be at my computer and I'm like photoshopping and it's the same picture 6 times that needs the same edit, but like Photoshop doesn't have like a copy and paste. That I'm just like, and I'm like on my phone and I'm like drowning in myself, and I'm like, no, I need a break. And like I'll go and I'll sit down and actually eat lunch with him. I'm not gonna eat lunch like at my desk as I'm like photoshopping and shoving food in my mouth. Granted, I still do eat at my desk.
Yeah, I do it all the time.
But yeah, like I find the time to take the breaks, because if you don't, you just like, your eyes they stop working. Your eyes stop working, your brain stops working, your photos take a shit.
Do you
like,
wear well, your photos take a shit.
They just like, they reflect your tiredness, and it's like, now I go back and look at them later, because like once I have all of the photos, like my gallery is done, especially in a session, it's a lot easier. I go through them and make sure they're consistent, like the straightening is similar in similar photos, and like you'll see that if you spend too much time and you start to wear yourself out, that reflects in those later photos. And now I got to go back and fix them, because like I was exhausted. And I haven't really had that problem in a while, because I do force the breaks.
Wow.
For the most part.
So like that work-life balance is really important.
Yes.
Do you think it's achievable? Like, is it realistic to be able to balance work with life? Like,
yes.
Is it?
Yes, because
while running a business,
I feel like and I learned a lot of this from the network marketing that everybody thinks is a scam. Which again, it's not. It's just not for everybody. And it is hard, because you have so many people who don't believe in it. And I say it with any like 1099 tax form style job, like real estate or like what I was doing, that you have people like me who take it serious and are not doing it to sell you a product and promise 50 pounds gone in 13 seconds, where other people who will be like, yeah, you'll lose 10 pounds in 3 days just to make the sale. Like, I'm going to be honest with you, I'd rather not get the sale. So, like, and it's the same thing in reflection of it, taking photos. I don't do newborns. I tried it. I don't love it. I can't get what people are looking for, unless they want lifestyle where the parents are involved. But when the parents don't want to be involved and they want the little froggy poses, I can't do it. And I'd rather tell you no, and you be slightly disappointed that you can't use me for this, than I try and you're like, what is this? And now I have a bad review.
I'm good. I'm glad that you said that, because that means that you know your boundaries and you're not afraid to assert those boundaries.
And you have to, because as like a business owner, you're so obsessed with like pleasing everybody that you'll harm yourself in the like process of that. And it's like, you just can't, people can wait. And when I said that I learned a lot of this in network marketing, is that like we were so obsessed with like getting a sale because it helped our business, obviously, that like as soon as she texted me, even though this person texted me 13 hours later, I'm texting her right now. It's like, well, she took 13 hours, so she could wait too.
Right.
So like it's the same thing. It's like if I'm busy right now, they don't know that. So if I'm busy, I will get back to them when I can get back to them, and then it goes all the way into when I'm getting the job. Like I tell them it's gonna take 10 to 14 days. If I feel I need more time because like I have a lot of photo shoots happening in that week, I'll be like, it's going to take 12 to 16 days. And usually I can time myself properly, and it's like you don't have to promise this fast delivery just to get the job. Because if they don't like that and they don't use you, then you didn't belong as a client photographer in the first place. I don't need every job. I'm not going to get every job. So if I learn that from the fact that like if you don't want what I can give you, then we're not meant for each other.
I love that you know that. Oh God, it's so important that people know that, because people really do bend over backwards for people that really don't respect boundaries.
And like I can do that. I will bend over backwards for you, but you have to know that like I'm not going to bend over backwards for everything. Like I will show you like, no, I do require a retainer, and I do require this, and a contract has to be signed, and if you don't like that, that's fine. Or if you want to edit it and tell me like, hey, this says that you have the rights to my photos, yeah, I do. They're mine. I took them. I edited them. But if you don't want them public, just tell me that. But they're still my photos. Like I could still use them for my portfolio, and I'm not going to publicly post them everywhere. You have the right to privacy, and I can lock them. Every single photo is password protected versus like 15 of them that I highlight for people to see when they come to my website. But that's like a boundary that we set. But you can't expect me to know that unless we talk about it. So like, as long as I'm willing to do for them, but they have to understand that like I do still have things I'm gonna say no to. So.
Do you ever run into clients that you do a photo session for, and they review their photos and they're like, oh, I don't like the way that I look, I don't like the way you pose me, or I just I look so old, or I look so I wish I was skinnier, like, you know what I mean?
I've had a couple people ask for particular edits, but I do defend myself. Like if there's something that you don't like, it's like, but you came to me with the style that I am, and this is what I am. If you want me to fix a double chin, for example, this is just, it happened. And I only deliver 15 pictures instead of 40. You have to understand that I had to edit that chin in 1,000 of those pictures. And if you want me to come back and give you more, then we have to negotiate something, because that is additional like 30 minutes per photo.
Let me ask you this. Is retouching photos a part of your pricing for photography?
No. I haven't approached it. I haven't like had that issue. Thank God. Like it's not in like a, not a humble brag, but like I really haven't had that issue for the most part, that people are like, oh, can you, I do ask up front, like, is there anything you want me to get rid of? Because I'm not going to remove a pimple unless you tell me, because for all I know, that's a birthmark, and I'm not going to be the one to take on that guess. So if there's something you want me to remove, if like maybe you do have a birthmark that you hate, if I can take that out for you, sure. And so, but I'll never ask, because like people are self-conscious about that.
No,
and it's
100%.
like, but I don't want it in my photo if it's not a birthmark. Like if it is a pimple, I'd rather take that out and make you feel good about yourself.
I love that. You're so like body conscious, and you're just
you know what, it's, you have to be, because it is a time that we're living in. And maybe like for myself, if somebody would just like took it upon themselves, like if I had a birthmark somewhere that was like obnoxiously, I guess obnoxious is a bad word, but like visible, like ridiculously visible, I would hope that they want to get rid of it for me, but like some people embrace that, so like it's not my decision.
That's so true.
Like
I love that.
And it's an ever-changing time, so even if it's not something that like you consciously think of, you have to for the sake of other people. So
so I gather that is video like not really your thing, or would you ever?
No, I mean like I could do it. But like I'm not.
It's not like your specialty.
The wedding videography that is occurring in this time period, I could not live up to. So you want a GoPro video? I'm your girl. I'll do it on a camera. I will do it GoPro style on a camera, great quality, all of these things. But it's gonna be like fast action, like
I love that.
Like chopped up and like make it look like we just
It's definitely
skied like
it's an
Colorado.
adjustment. It's an adjustment. Wedding videography is definitely an adjustment. I was super intimidated when I first got in the industry. I didn't know anything about cameras, you know. So I was like, "What the fuck is f-stop?"
Yeah. It's okay. It was all a refresher when I got back into it too.
Yeah, yeah. But you learn how to kind of be quick on your feet and like, you know, you watch a lot of trailers and stuff like that. So like,
yeah, and you know what? Like I've learned, like, looking at other people's wedding photos and just regular photos. It doesn't necessarily have to be wedding, because like I don't have a lot of weddings under my belt, and I'm not working for anybody. This is entirely like my own business. Yeah. So like it is hard to break into weddings and get people to trust you when you have a minimal portfolio. Yeah. And like, but then I look back on other people's weddings and I'm like, you know, or even just photos in general, like I could have done this. And if they're happy with that and I feel that I can do a little bit better, I could do this. Why can't I just be like, look, take the chance on what you see?
That's on knowing your worth. That's good. Period.
Yeah, like I'll go through pictures and I was like, they're happy with this. That's really cool, but I could do better.
Yeah, totally.
And so like if they are like, you'd be really surprised with what people are satisfied with, and that's like a positive thing. Like like my parents, they got married in '95, but they had a camcorder that they had the guests use. The guests filmed their wedding.
Oh, but that's
which
cool.
is really cool.
Yeah.
But another situation where it's like, there's people that are happy with that. So if you could just deliver a little bit more than what they're happy with, then that's more than enough to get the portfolio that you're looking for.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And I'm like,
awesome.
I'm so thankful for the people. Shout out to everybody who took a chance on me with no wedding portfolio.
That's awesome.
Emily and Tony, love you.
Yeah.
And Lisa and Jeff, love you guys too.
Should I start naming people? And Angela and Maria and
those are my first two like serious weddings that like required like some posing, and not just like, oh, this is just like a real quick wedding, we're doing it for like just to get it out of the way. Can you come just take pictures in the backyard? We don't even need posts. Just take the pictures of the wedding, take the pictures of the event, and just go home.
Exactly.
These required like, okay, this person and this person come in, and this person and this person come in. Okay, I need a shot list, and like I'm gonna get a detail list, like all of these things. So those were like the two couples that I did their engagement photos, and then they took the chance on me for their wedding too. So it was really cool.
That's awesome. That's freaking awesome. Has there ever been like a challenge that you've hit, or like an event that like brought you out of your comfort zone? You're like, whoa, like this is like
here. Belmont is my worst nightmare.
Oh, I thought you meant this podcast.
No, Belmont.
What happened?
I've never hit any like challenges as far as like life ones, thank God. Like it worked out. I have been super fortunate my entire life in a way that like this wasn't an escape for me. This is just something that I love. So, but like as far as photography, when I first started to get back into it, I did Easter minis for this woman here.
Easter minis, okay.
And I brought a backdrop. She had twin girls who were like 2, which is, they were so cute. They were so cute because I was like, let's make a mess. Let's put the Easter eggs everywhere. And they're just putting them away. And I'm like, I love that you love cleaning. Well, let's play.
Yeah.
But it was really windy and really bright. And where I originally wanted to do the photos was like shadowy and harsh lighting all at the same time. So I tried moving over and the wind just kept blowing it down. And I'm like drenched in sweat and anxiety, like my whole body's shaking, and I was so nervous because then they pulled up and I'm like, they're gonna hate these, like these are gonna be so bad. How do I deliver these photos? And so at like while I was here at the very end of the session, I was like, I'm taking $25 off. I was like, I really don't know how these are gonna go, and I'm really nervous about it. But like I feel like people appreciate the upfront honesty that like I am nervous, like I'm really petrified of these photos. And I was like, so and if I even if you like them, if I genuinely don't like these photos, I will give you a free photo shoot in return. But that's the thing too, like, you have to be accountable for your mistakes. Like, it's not a big deal. With photography, you're not losing money by giving a free photo shoot. It doesn't cost me anything. It's just not making money.
Right.
So it's not like where I'm giving away like a free meal and that like came out of like my profit. That's a fortunate thing about photography, is that it's literally only what you do for free doesn't hurt your business.
Right.
So,
because it's also promotion too for your business.
And then you show that you're a problem solver in a situation like that. So I took $25 off right away, and I was already super cheap at the time. And what did I do? Oh, I went home and I learned how to Photoshop right then and there. And I learned some basics in Photoshop in high school, but that was 11th grade, so 2014, and now this is 2022, 8 years later. I have to refresh, right?
Gosh.
So I went on to YouTube and I Googled I downloaded the exact same backdrop and exact same floor that I used for their session.
Right.
I sent her the originals and she loved them. And I was like, just waiting. I just wanted you to see what I'm doing.
Right.
And I went on to I got the backdrop and the floor. I put them in Photoshop. I learned how to, what was it? It's not magnetic lasso, but it's another one of those ones.
God,
it's like,
no. That's okay.
Photoshop is a world that you'll never learn all of it.
I'm still learning Lightroom. Like I just I don't. Wait, so you edit on both Lightroom and Photoshop like together? You transfer? No way.
Yeah. So like I'll edit in Lightroom, then I do the rating where I put 4 if it needs to be Photoshopped. So like right now I'm working on photos from Brooklyn.
Yep.
And we didn't go at sunset or sunrise. We didn't go at sunrise or like at a time where there's nobody there.
Right.
So there was a white Jeep Wrangler, a food truck with bright lights, and 6 billion people on this one road because you have the Manhattan Bridge right there.
Yeah.
It's all cobblestone street. And then the Brooklyn Bridge is like right at the right angle. You could see both.
Right.
So I'm like, well, I'm not giving these out. Like all of these people. So like, I'm still working on it. It's almost done, but I still have like 20 pictures left to Photoshop. Generative AI has been very helpful because it allows me to remove things that like I otherwise wouldn't be able to.
Is that part of Photoshop?
Yeah.
Generative AI?
Yes.
Oh, I need to get on
So
Photoshop.
let's just say like flyaways are a big thing, right?
Yeah,
and I can very easily edit flyaways on my own, but it just takes the work out. And I've seen a lot of people be like, well, doesn't AI mean it's like not your work anymore? And I'm like, if you're using it to create a whole new photo, if you're like AI, create a photo. But like I'm doing it where I circled the hair and I'm like remove flyaways.
Yeah.
And then it does it.
Wow, like you type that in, like remove.
It gives you 3 options. You could swipe through 3 results.
Yeah.
It gives you 3 results right away. And if you don't like those, you click generate again and it gives you another 3 results. But the original 3 are still there. So you can go through all 6 now.
What? That is crazy.
Yeah, so I've been using that to get rid of like the car and and it will create a Brooklyn that I can't physically create myself without like it being very pattern noticeable.
Do you think that AI will ever replace us?
No.
Ooh. Why is that? What are your thoughts on that?
Because it's a step-by-step process. Like AI can't show up to the job and take the photos. You know, like nobody's holding. Like sure, like I know there's a thing now where you can take photos remotely, where you set it up. I don't know how to do it, but like you could be in another state. And we're on Zoom, and I tell you, okay, move the tripod this way, and then I'll click the photo, and now I take it and edit it.
Right.
It's different.
It's so different.
But it's not AI. And AI, I really like. How could I don't even know how AI could fully take over in this situation. Like I know that AI is taking over a lot of like form processing.
Yeah.
I heard that like Geico's doing it. No joke.
That's so random.
I know. I'm in a BNI group.
Hey.
I'm in it's a networking group, and one of the members is auto body. Like body work, not mechanic, like body work. And he said that the claims that you're making on Geico are now being processed through AI. But that stinks because now it's not personalized.
Right.
So in a situation like that, like something more industrial, sure. But I don't think that like I have to learn who you are, I have to pose you. Like they would have to physically impose a robot. There would have to be a physical creation. And it's still, I don't think people would like that.
Yeah.
I think people enjoy, especially now, even in network marketing, the evolution that we had to follow and like adapt to constantly to stay relevant with people's desires, it's just crazy. Yeah. And like people want intimate relationships with their vendors.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you won't get that with AI.
That's like one of the only ways that they're going to like build trust with you too.
Yeah.
It's a big indicator.
And it's like not everybody wants the same wedding style photos.
Yeah.
Some people want like that like on flash where you have like the shadow behind, like the direct flash photos and there's like shadow. Yeah. Some people want you to bounce it off the wall so it looks softer. And some people want like really vibrant wedding photos and they want to go take pictures at In-N-Out. I know that's out of state, but like somewhere like All American, they want to go take their pictures at All American. And some people are like, no, I don't even want like food stations when people are like that's a new thing too, exit stations.
Oh, Oh.
Exit stations.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's
where
random.
like you're drunk at the end of the wedding and here's ice cream.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You're drunk at the end of the wedding
100%.
and here
Yep.
instead of like, well, I
Got
mean,
it.
like you still get party favors, and this is like a party favors plus one. Like, okay, you're drunk.
Yeah.
Here's a slice of pizza
See,
as you get into your Uber and go home.
Yep,
Like,
yep. It's like a little food truck with like
Yeah.
pizza and stuff. Yep,
Yeah.
Yep. That's
So, like-
funny. Oh my God.
I think it's so cool.
It's so
but
good.
like, there's
yeah.
just so much expectations to weddings now too.
Yeah.
But like everybody has different desires and wants, and like, so I don't think AI is gonna do that.
Yeah,
So.
it just takes out the human element of things.
I think people
too,
still
right?
want human. I think we're like,
yeah, we want
I
humans.
think I think especially like our generation we're so stuck in this like transition that like we got to see life before iPhones
right.
and life before Teslas, and like I just saw something on like I all like the nostalgic memes that like one of them was no, the kids these days will never know like the rush of trying to run into the kitchen and get a snack while there's a commercial break for your sibling to tell you it's back on, and like you're diving back onto the couch.
Yeah.
And one of the comments was, "Can't you just pause it?" And it's like, well, sis, if you didn't have TiVo, if you they probably don't even know what TiVo is. Like if you didn't have TiVo, you couldn't pause it, and that has to still be recorded first before you can go back and watch it. So like,
miss those times.
I know,
So
but like,
simple.
but that's the thing. Like the generation we're in is very like we're grasping on for dear life to stay nostalgic.
Yeah.
So like
Ooh,
we're
that's
not.
such a good fix. Yeah.
So that way, like, and these are the people getting married now.
yeah.
So they want a little bit of both, and they're
Yeah.
not gonna go fully for the technology. I mean, obviously you've got your outliers, but like,
That's a great way of explaining that.
yeah,
Oh
we
my
are
God.
literally like, 90s don't go.
I know, like people.
It's 30 years ago. What do you mean?
I'm dead. Oh my God, you were born in '97, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, I'm not a 90s baby because I can't remember any of the
know.
90s, but like, all of that stuff still like, you know, spilled
Oh,
into the early 2000s.
All I remember is zoom.
That was like a Subaru commercial or something.
yeah, like I don't know why people don't remember that. What are some valuable tips that you would give to photographers or aspiring photographers today that are like just getting into the industry?
Not to be afraid to reach out to other photographers. Yeah, because that was like the big thing. Like I got into this besides the one class that I took in high school, which was a year long, and the one semester class I took in college just to cover an elective.
Yeah.
A majority of what I've done is just self-taught. So like I'm not afraid to ask a photographer like, hey, how did you do this? Or hey, like I'm doing my own sky. You know that like it's unattractive to gatekeep.
Yeah.
Okay? Gatekeeping locations is not cute. If you make friends with the photographers that you're asking. Like I wouldn't just like see all these photographers. Where is that? That's annoying. And you'll create a reputation of being like lazy. But like if I am constantly swiping up on like, oh my God, that photo's great, that looks awesome, then the next time I swipe up on them to ask them, oh, like where is that is gorgeous,
Right.
I feel like they're more open to be like, oh, this was Prosser Pines or something like that, and it's not so like ew.
Yeah.
But like I don't like like I'm not gonna post it and like the location, but if you ask me, like it's such a competitive place. I feel like the photography world is moving out of competition and into community. And
I was just gonna ask you about that.
yeah, I feel like we're moving out of that, and I think
that's
it's
good.
good because I feel like old generation photographers are all so obsessed with like, ew, I'm not telling you anything. It's like,
Yeah.
you're not gonna get every job.
Right.
So like, what's the big deal if you give me a tip?
Right.
So like, when I first got back into doing photography again, I typed in Long Island photographer, and I followed all of them. And the ones that followed me back, I stayed in touch with, and the ones that didn't, I unfollowed. And you gotta keep your proportions right.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
Sorry, not sorry.
Oh my God.
If you want people to take
I've
you
been-
serious, the proportions gotta be right.
That's so true. That's true. I've been caught for like, oh yeah, you unfollowed me. I'm like,
Sorry.
right?
If you know what, and then if it comes to the time, like, and I end up following you back again, I don't like be like, oh, I already followed her, unfollow. Like, all right, let's try this again.
Right.
I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't care.
Right.
There's no shame. Like whatever. Again, like I learned a lot of that from the network marketing. Like this is just how you grow and people get your attention. I follow random people.
Yeah.
All the time.
Right.
I never take from other photographers' followers ever.
Right.
Because I'm not poaching. I go from clients to clients, and that's the thing too. Because then they're like, oh, you shot for her. And it's like, yeah, I did. And it's like, oh, you shot their engagement, or you shot him proposing, or whatever, or her proposing, and like all of these things. And I'm like, yes, so now we have a mutual friend.
Right.
And I feel like that helps a ton too, because it's like, oh, they were awesome. Like I really enjoyed, you know, their plan for the proposal, or their plan for like, they didn't want to just do the beach. They wanted to go to Sands Point or like whatever, like, and we're, like I'm doing a Hempstead House photo shoot next month, and that's literally so cool.
Do you have to like, do you get permits often, like for places that
I
you shoot?
research where needs permits and where don't, and if it's like questionable, I take the chance.
Yeah, meaning like you go,
like I'll go.
Got you.
There was one place that was like, that he pulled up on me and he's like, you're supposed to have a permit for here, and I was like, oh my, I'm so sorry. And I had shot there multiple times before and never had that issue.
Right.
But there are certain places, and I look at other people's, I ask, I'm like, well, I know where this is and I really want to go shoot there. Do you happen to know if you require a permit? And some people would be like, it says you do, but like I've never had a problem there. Or I just learned that one location, my friend just did it, you just print out the permit sheet and you pay once they catch you.
I'm dead.
Yeah. So like if they come around and say, do you have your permit? That's when you give them the check.
Got you.
So it's like, I think that's the best way. And I think so permits are ridiculously priced Long Island.
Yeah.
They're really bad.
Yeah.
I feel like as long as you sign a waiver that says you'll credit the location, that should be more than enough.
Yeah, that's true.
It should be more than enough.
You see tips from like a pro over here, because like I'm still rookie level.
That's all. Oh, and like that's another thing. I feel like photographers are so afraid to ask for credit. You sign a contract. My contract says if you don't credit me, you're breaching contract.
Meaning like say like you do a photo shoot for me, like I have to tag you and social
media.
Yeah.
Why is that hard?
No, that makes sense.
We're so obsessed with crediting the fact that we went to Starbucks, but we don't want to credit our local photographer.
That is so true.
Everybody knows you didn't take those photos.
Actually, I want to like hit on contracts real quick. Like, do you have your own contracts and stuff?
Yeah.
Cool.
I don't
have that yet.
So I use PixieSet for my gallery delivery, my contracts, my invoices, like my website is all through PixieSet. It's all one place.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
Do you like it?
Oh, I love it.
Oh,
I love it.
good.
And it comes with like a standard contract, but I had a contract prior to that I used to send through Signwell, which is like a free version of DocuSign.
Okay.
And I had a contract that I think I found from Rocket Lawyer. Fun fact, if you just go to ChatGPT and get specific on what your contract should say, it will write it for you.
Yeah, I do. That's what I currently do.
So I have like just the same standard contract, and I have fill in the blank spots for each session.
Yeah.
But I do have a spot that's for social media. It's like I am delivering you these photos without a watermark out of like pretty much the kindness of my heart, because I used to not. It used to be that here is a set of photos with the watermark for social media and a set of those photos without for printing. But it was like taking up so much space.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm just going to take the chance. I follow the people, whoever is using, and then they're like for an event, it's like you kind of just like hope that they pay attention for like the friends who like repost the photos.
Yeah.
It gets lost in translation a little bit. To an extent, you have to just let go of the fight.
Right.
But like if I see like an engagement, a proposal, right? And it's just the two of them that are likely posting these photos. You don't have to tag me on the first slide.
Right.
I don't have to be like, I know that's unattractive because you see the little person at the bottom for like big deal, but like if, I guess people don't like that. Tag me on the last slide. I don't care.
Right.
But tag me.
Right, because it stays on your tags.
Yeah,
like
and you know what? If Rihanna and Candace Parker, right? She's a basketball player.
I don't even watch basketball.
I don't either, but she's famous. She's been famous for a long time.
Rihanna, like the umbrella.
Okay,
girl?
Rihanna.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's Candace Parker as well. Because I've seen her do it specifically, but Rihanna, we'll stick with Rihanna, okay? If Rihanna can credit her photographer, so can you.
Hey, period.
Rihanna is giving credit, why cannot you? And like,
why cannot you? Why cannot you? Rihanna's giving credit, why cannot you? That's gonna be your new hashtag. Oh no, we're gonna trademark that. That's you.
But it's like true, like, and I see it all the time, like all of these famous people have absolutely zero problem crediting their photographer, and we love to be like, oh, I got this at Shein. This is Shein. Which in fact these jeans are Shein.
Yeah.
But like, and I got these shoes from this brand, and I got like, and you tag all these things because we so badly all want to be influencers.
Right.
Why can't you tag your photographer? Like,
so true. I wonder why.
I
wonder why
think some people don't
mindset.
realize it. I think they just like it's like a mindless thought that they don't. It's an accident. I don't ever think it's malicious, and I'll say that to you, like to somebody. I'm like, I know it's not on purpose, but like, please don't forget.
Yeah.
Or like I'll go and I'll comment. I'll be like, oh my god, those pictures are awesome, and it's like then you see that obviously my Instagram handle is a photographer.
Right.
So, like,
oh, that's smart.
yeah. Like, and then it's like, okay, you don't want to do it. I'll just be I'll subtly tag myself. Like,
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love those.
Hilarious.
Who took those?
Oh my god. I had such a pleasure.
You guys
filming
were
this.
so great. I loved you guys. That was such a great
You like
proposal.
that all the time. Oh well, not all the
You
time.
don't want to.
Like,
You don't want to credit me. I'll find my way.
Right.
But like, I
Love
just don't
that.
think that's fair. Like, because now you
Yeah.
have all these people. I mean, it's obvious you didn't take those photos.
Yeah.
But like, you have all of these people now. They're like, well, if they want that, they have to go ask you.
Right.
And you know how people hate doing things.
Yeah.
So like,
yeah. No, 100%.
but yeah, like, so yes, I have it in my contract that you have to credit me.
Good.
And it says it's highlighted because people don't read their contracts. It's like iTunes, you just agree without reading.
Right.
My contract is not as long as iTunes terms and agreements though, so like it is totally readable. But it says failure to credit is a breach of contract.
Got you.
So,
That makes sense.
Yeah, and it's highlighted. It can not be more clear.
Right. I love that.
Yeah.
Let them know your boundaries, girl.
If
you
it's
know?
not obvious, I almost went to law school. I almost went to law school.
Oh.
Yeah, so
I
like
feel like you'd be great.
I think I'd be a great lawyer too, but I
Yeah.
think it's not worth it.
Right. Yeah. Oh my god.
The
that's
stress and like just schooling. The first year is like medical school. There's no break.
Like, yeah.
Everybody needs a break.
Oh my god.
And you get no break in your first year. And I have a minor in legal studies. My high school, I mean my college degree is minor in legal studies.
Hell yeah. So what's the future for your photography journey now?
I'd like to do mostly weddings. Mostly weddings. I feel like some people have that goal and
Why is that?
It's a really important day, and
Yeah.
like I think that like it gives me a lot of joy. Like I feel like everybody has their like top tier thing,
Right.
and I think that
Is it also because of the movie?
it is a little bit.
got
It is a nice like less. I mean, it's a lot of work, but
Yeah.
less days, more money.
Right.
Like that's the goal. Like
Yes.
I have from 2022, we'll say, because I did one job in 2021. From 2022, I have raised my prices twice.
Okay. Yeah.
Twice. And I have no problem, like, if someone comes back to me from one price to the other, I'll be like, look, I have since raised my prices.
Yeah.
I will give you a returning customer discount. I can meet, I can be flexible. But, like, I raise my prices because I am buying new equipment. I am researching more. I'm learning more tools. I am spending more time on each photo.
Yeah.
I'm making myself unique to other people. So it's like I have to know that, like, my tickets have to go up, and if that means less jobs, it doesn't matter because I'm getting the price that I want for the jobs that I want.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, the money is a thing with the weddings, but I do think they're a lot of fun too. They're really big risk, big reward, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
as they're mentally rewarding as much as they are financially rewarding.
Yeah. I agree.
And like, so weddings are the ultimate goal, or not ultimate goal, the goal. Destination weddings are the ultimate goal.
Oh yeah, I know. She will travel for your
I
love.
would.
That's another thing
That is in my bio. That is in my bio.
Yeah.
I will.
That I stalked.
I will capture everything you're envisioning.
I love that.
That's the goal though, because if people come to me and like I had this one girl, she wanted to recreate for her maternity photos, this one session that I had seen already. It went viral. I think it was like hannahelisephoto, and it was this woman. She had like a pink like a pink cardigan on, and just like a bandeau, or like a sports bra or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was so pretty, and like ripped blue jeans, and
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
really pretty. It was on the beach, and she goes, "I want to recreate this." She showed up in a pink cardigan, and we recreated it. And I was like, "Show me which photos that you want exactly, and we'll get it done."
Yeah.
And I did, because if
Nice.
that's what you want, that's what we're gonna do.
Right,
Like, I'm
I
not gonna be
love
like,
that.
"Oh, that's what you want to do. Well, I'm gonna take it my route." It's like, but that's not what I'm here for. I'm here
Right.
to get what you're like. This is the vision you have in your head. I'm just the one behind the camera that can make it happen.
Oh,
So.
hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good end
Yeah.
there. That's awesome. Dayna Doxey, everybody. Let everyone know where they can follow you or contact you.
So you can, the best route is my Instagram, because then the links that are in my bio will lead you everywhere else. My website, my Facebook, my really poorly designed TikTok, I guess, right?
No, it's great. Are you kidding? I looked at it this morning, actually.
It needs work. My Instagram is better, and that is where I take my pride. So, it's at doxetography. I made that in high school because it sounded like I was a scientist in photos. And that is where the root of doxetography came from. Oh. It's my last name, and like, you know how like all the graphies when you look biography, it's like the science or like the knowledge of like that particular prefix.
That's such a Gemini trait. I just love you guys.
I love all, you know what I took, I took the marketing class after high school, but like marketing, the subtle things is like Amazon, A to Z, Baskin Robbins, 31 flavors, and it's all in their logos. McDonald's is the golden arches because you're supposed to go there and feel like you're in heaven. Like, all of these little like subtle like hints. Mine is that I am the scientist of photography.
I love that. And you own it, girl.
So doxetography, doxetography. Doxetography. Can you give me the origin of that and put it in a sentence? No. But I can spell it.
I love that so much. Thank you so much for being on the pod.
Thanks for having me. This is so cool. I'm so excited.
You're such a joy. Yeah, 100%.
Thank you.
All right, guys, we are out.